Hey, this is Retired Geek Woman with Stardew Valley 1.5, Retired Slow Play Part 1. I'm going to be showing you some links here to help you get started. This is this main page for Stardew Valley where you can download. You can also find it in Google Play Store, and it's also available for iPad, but I play it on computer. This is the wiki where it has every piece of information you would need to know to be able to play the game. And then I'm also going to show you the forums, which has a ton of helpful people there. Just create an account there and you can ask any questions that you want and they will be happy to answer them for you. Stardew Valley is a farm simulation game, but that is, I hate saying that description because it's so much more than that. There's a whole town involved, there's stories and characters and tasks that you get to do, and there's a little bit of fighting, but you can get around that pretty much. There's a couple of mines that you have to go into that you can get around that pretty easily to get what you need, your quest item or whatever. What I'm going to be doing is starting a brand new game and showing you how you set up your characters. It's pretty basic. You can play a male or female. You can change skin color, hairstyles. There's many, I think there's something like 75 hairstyles now. Let's see what it says here when I go back. 74 hairstyles to choose from. You can change the color of the hair. You can change the shirt, and I don't remember how many shirts there are. The pants and accessories would be like for men you can do, or women you can do beards, you can do glasses. I think there's also might be earrings. There's not a ton of selection there, but enough to be able to make your character pretty customized. Being a retired female senior, I like to make my characters look a little bit as much like me as possible. And don't always wear my hair in the bun. I kind of do in the summertime. I figured for gardening or for working on the farm, probably a bun would be the best thing to keep the hair out of my face. You get to name your character. You can choose a name for your farm. And keep in mind, you don't want to put the word farm in the little box there because then it would be farm. So I'm going to be choosing Monroe as my farm name. So if I put Monroe Farm, it would say Monroe Farm. So just put the name of your, the beginning part of your farm name. You can put any favorite thing that you want. And most of the times, I don't think it makes any difference. In this case, I think if you put in concerned Ape, who is the designer, something special happens. As always, my character name is Rhiannon. If I can use that, you can see the different types of farms that you can start with. The easiest one and the one that fits my playstyle the best is the top. It says standard farm. There's also an introduction at the beginning of the game. You can skip it if you've played this game over and over again. I'm going to go ahead and let the introduction play through, because this is kind of an introductory type beginning playthrough. So I thought I'd go ahead and put it here at the beginning. I will be putting chapter markings in my descriptions. So if you don't want to see the opening sequences or any of the sequences, you'll be able to skip past them. Say if you've seen them 100 times or something. But if you've never seen them before and you want to see what it looks like, then you can just keep on watching. What this is doing is Grandpa is on his deathbed, and he's got a letter and he hands it to you. It's part of his will, and he tells you that someday you're going to be crushed by the burden of modern life, and when that happens, your spirit will fade before the growing emptiness. So, sometimes I think a lot of us have been through that in our life where, things don't look so good and we're not very happy. He said, when that happens, my dear, you'll be ready for this gift. And so he gave us an envelope, and we're going to keep it. But he said, just let Grandpa rest now, and Grandpa passes away. And then, I don't know what that means, 20 years later? Who knows how many years later? X number of years later, I guess. You're working at Joja in a cubicle farm. Look at these cubicles, look closely. There's one coming up. There's a guy who got terminated. There's a guy who's happy as a clam, but he's got pills laying on his desk. If you look to the right, that's me or you in the middle here. And then on the very far right, there's a skeleton who died at his desk. You see that there's cameras right over your desk. And, this is kind of a dig against large corporations and how it feels to work in a cubicle farm. But as we're sitting at our desk here, remember that we had that letter from Grandpa tucked away. At this point, our cursor lets us open it up. It says, hey, if you're reading this, you must be in dire need of a change. The same thing happened to me long ago. I'd lost sight of what mattered most in life, real connections with other people and nature, so I dropped everything and moved to the place I truly belong. I've enclosed the deed to that place, my pride and joy, Monroe Farm. It's located in Stardew Valley on the southern coast. It's the perfect place to start your new life. This is one of my precious gifts of all, and now it's yours. I know you'll honor the family name, my dear, and good luck. Love, Grandpa. So it's like, it came at the perfect time. I needed to see that. P.S. If Lewis is still alive, say hi to the old guy for me, will you? So we've opened the letter, and now we're going to head to our new place in Stardew Valley. And it's a bus ride, so we're going to hop on the bus. All of this is an opening sequence. You have no control over it unless you skipped it. But, you know, the bus is taking us along this route. And we're going to pass a little sign right here that tells us Stardew Valley is 0.5 miles ahead. So we're going to just kind of see a little birdie fly down. It's a very relaxed game to play. There's very little, there's ways, all kinds of ways that you can play it. Just, you can do your own thing. It's an open world, and you'll find out what's going to happen here. Robin is a lady that meets you right at the bus. She says hi. She's a local carpenter. Mayor Lewis sent me here to fetch you and show you the way to your new home. He's there right now, tidying things up for your arrival. And the farm's right over here. You can see my cursor is moving around. When you click, it jumps ahead in the context of whatever's being said. So I wanted to make sure to show you that that's how you do it. You just click and it forwards things. This is Monroe Farm. Again, that's the name of the farm that I named it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what have I gotten myself into? Look at this mess. She's like, what's the matter? She goes, sure, it's a bit overgrown, but there's good soil underneath that mess. With a little dedication, you'll have it cleaned up in no time. And you're looking at her like, she's crazy. This is a mess. And here we are, your new home. Out pops Lewis. What was he doing in your house? He says, the new farmer. Welcome, I'm Lewis, mayor of Pelican Town. That's the town that's off. You'll see it soon. You know, everyone's been asking about you. It's not every day that someone new moves in. It's quite a big deal. So everybody's all excited that there's a new farmer in town. So you're moving into your grandfather's old cottage. It's a good house, very rustic. Yeah, I'd say rustic. Robin says that's one way to put it. Crusty might be a little more apt, though. Isn't that funny? And look at her smiling, her character smiling, and he's like, rude. She's giggling. Don't listen to her, Rhiannon. She's just trying to make you dissatisfied, so you buy one of her house upgrades. That's like a tip. You can buy house upgrades. Okay, keep that. And look at her. She's like, hey. Now watch her stomp on her foot. She's like, Anyway, you must be tired from the long journey. You should get some rest. Tomorrow you ought to explore the town a bit and introduce yourself. The townspeople would appreciate that. So again, these are things you don't have to do, but they're suggestions. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot, if you have anything to sell, just place it in the box here, and I'll come during the night to collect it. It's kind of creepy thinking that Lewis shows up at your house every night, cleans out your box to go when you sell stuff. Well, good luck. Thank you, Lewis. So when you have things to sell, you put it in the little bin right there. So you go to sleep your first night, and you wake up your first morning. It's day 1 of spring. There are 28 days each month. When you sleep, it saves your game. You can see right there it's 6 a.m. in the morning. You want to check your TV every day. Also, those are the move keys. You only see that this first time. It tells you how to move. I'm playing on PC. You check the weather report for the following day. So it says weather forecast for tomorrow. It's going to be a beautiful sunny day tomorrow. That can determine your choices of what you do for that day. The fortune tells you what the spirits are doing in this day. On day 1 here, the spirits are displeased. So if you do something that has luck involved, it would not be a good thing. Living off the land is tips. So you don't get them every day, but here's one for the greenhorns. Chop wood and search for wild forage to earn some cash while you're waiting on your first harvest. So again, those are just tips. there's a gift left there. We open it up and it is parsnip seeds and a little something to get you started from Mayor Lewis. 15 parsnip seeds. Also creates journal entry. Getting started, number 1 task, cultivate and harvest a parsnip. You were given 15, but you only have to plant and grow and harvest 1. When there's new items such as this one, introduction says meet 2 people. So I have these 2 quest items in my quest log, or the journal, I guess they call it. I have a bar that carries my things, that shows all the tools that I have, and it shows those 15 parsnip seeds. If your backpack is full, you can't pick up anything else. So you come outside on your first day. First things first, let's get some space created so we can plant those 15 seeds. And that's your first thing that you have to do. As I'm clearing things, like clearing these weeds, I'm getting fiber. Fiber is a resource, so you need to keep that. I can break the rocks, and I can chop down these trees. So when I break the rocks, I'm getting stone, as you can see. If I chop either a small piece of wood or a tree, I'm getting wood from it. All of these, again, are resources that you're going to want to keep and use for crafting. There's crafting in this game, and we're going to look at that menu a little bit later. So you can see, in the beginning, you only have so many things that you can craft, but you learn more crafting recipes in various ways. People send them to you, you find them, you go up in levels of certain things. So we'll look at those levels in a little bit so you can see what can go up, and each time you do, sometimes you get things, and one of the things you can get is recipes for crafting. So it's not, again, you don't have to do any of this. You don't have to have any kind of goals at all. The goals that I generally have for myself is to eventually have a self-sustaining, fully functioning farm. And by self-sustaining, I mean that I don't have to go buy seeds anymore, and my farm makes money, and I'm self-sustaining. I don't have to go buy stuff anymore. The initial animals that I have to purchase, or I can't just find a goat or a cow or a chicken laying around. I have to buy those initial animals, but then after that, I can make my own. So that's my first goal, is to have a fully sustaining, self-running farm. It takes a while to get to that, because there's so many things that have to happen between now and the time that can happen. One of the big ones is I got to have money for that. You can't build your own buildings. You have to go talk to Robin, and she does do upgrades on your cabin. She also helps you build other buildings, such as a chicken coop, or such as barns and bigger barns and bigger barns. So to be able to plant, you have to hoe the soil with your hoe, and I had 15, so that's a 3x5 space that I'm going to create here. And again, I also, because I was hitting the soil, I was able to get some clay. Clay is another resource that I need. So I'm going to go ahead and quickly plant these parsnip seeds that I have. You also, until you can create sprinklers, you have to water your crops every single day. If you do not, they will not have their growth that day, the next day. So that's I'm trying to make sure that I remember to do that every single morning, first thing. As you can see, my watering can is going down. With this particular farm style, the standard farm, there's a pond right down here, and I can dip my bucket in that pond and refill it. That's one reason why I love this farm, is it makes it easy to get started, so I can always keep my can full. I'm going to look at the options here. There's tons and tons of options. The number one I want to show you is always show tool hit location. What that does is, when you saw me hitting things with my tools, it put a little red box around it. And I have found that if I don't do that, it's so easy to chop down something you don't mean to chop down. There's lots of settings here that you can customize this to your own way. Some people don't like the animal sounds, the mooing cows and the chickens clucking. You can mute that. So I'm just kind of scrolling through to show you what the various options are. There's a zoom button where you can zoom in and out. If you uncheck it, those plus and minus signs went out. I wanted to show you that. So flash effects, sometimes people have problems with flashing screens, and so you can turn that off. So there's a lot of great settings here. I want to show you at the one at the very bottom, screenshots. So you take screenshots. If you're outside, it'll show you your outside farm. If you're inside, it will show you the inside of your house. These are the collections. You have to ship every item, and they will turn into color when you do one. All the fish, artifacts, which we'll cover later, minerals, and cooking. If you've cooked all the recipes, all these would be lit up. And there's achievements. And once you have achievements, those stars turn yellow. And then there's notes, and also you can look and see what those achievements will be. And then the bottom, there's letters and notes, and when you find them, they come there. You'll be able to look back at them. These are all the things you can currently craft, and if you have the resources in your bag, you can make something. I don't have stone, so I don't have enough stone to make that sign. I'm going to make a chest, and the reason why I did that is I want to be, here's the map of the whole world that you'll be dealing with. You can see what time the stores open if you hold your cursor over them, and other things that you can't see that are going to show question marks is because they're not opened up to you yet. That was the community center. That's the bus stop we came from. There's something up above. We don't know what it is. There's something to the right. We don't know what it is, and that's because we can't get there yet. So it'll open up soon enough. All this open up as you play along and as you continue. And so just giving you a quick overview of that map. Also here is the hearts. These are the people in the town. We've met 2 of them. Remember it said that we needed to meet all the people. I think it's 28. I think it's how many you have to meet. And here is the achievements. So farming, level 1, I'm not there. Mining, foraging, fishing, combat. As you increase in skills, they'll fill up. Halfway through, you get to make some choices on which direction you want to go in. And your goal, of course, is to hit level 10. That's my backpack, showing everything in the backpack. That's just showing it's not using it. It's just showing what's there. So I'm going to place my chest for convenience right here by the front door. Later on, we're going to completely redo this, but this is for convenience for getting started. And since I've already done all the things that I needed to do with these tools, I'm going to go ahead and put them away for now. And it's also another way you can reorganize stuff. So right now, I'm keeping that hoe, because there's a reason I keep the hoe when I'm going to wander around in town. So I've done all I can today, at least as far as working on the farm. You notice on the far right hand side there's an energy bar, and that's getting down into the reddish area because I used up my energy as I was chopping things. And there's certain things that use energy. Foraging, like I just found those 2 daffodils, that doesn't take any energy. Talking to people doesn't take any energy. So this is about managing your own resources as well as your energy resources. So since I'm kind of low on my energy, it might be a good time to meet some people. So look at this guy. Who is that? Oh, it's Harvey. Hi, Harvey. He says he's the town doctor. You can talk to him twice. You can talk to them twice at the same time, and it gives you a couple of bumps. And so let's look at our list of people now. Now we know Harvey. We've spoken to him today. So it gives you a little X there and says we've spoken to him today. But we've only met 3 people so far, so we need to keep going, and see who else we can see. Right here is a calendar. It shows us it's spring of day 1. It tells you upcoming events. People's birthday. Lewis's birthday is going to be on Sunday. There's also an egg festival and a flower dance this month. There's this spring. There's 4 seasons, so they're actually a month, and there's 28 days in each month. There's a help wanted board to be able to get quests, really tasks and quests and things. I went on into the market so I can meet a couple people here. This is Leah. So each time you click on someone, it means you've met them. This is the first time through. So we have a task to meet those people. And they say certain things, and so she's telling us she's married to Pierre. This is the general store. And I'm going to run up here, and this is Abigail. So again, you just run around and meet as many people as you can here this first day and second day and third day. And trying to complete that journal quest item was to meet everybody, meet 28 people. And Pierre is also the person that you can buy seeds from and other things. There's 2 different places you can buy from. I choose to go with the market. Now you can see here, I've got Harvey, Leah, Caroline, Abigail, and Pierre. All those people I've talked to today, and I've met them. So I met Robin, but I haven't talked to her today. That's why it wasn't showing that I had. So what I'm doing is the seeds are only available in each season. So the jazz, kale, tulips, what else we got here? Potatoes, cauliflower. All those things are only available in the spring, the bean starter. So I want to plant everything, one of each thing that I can. And then I'm going to go ahead and get the parsnip seeds because they grow pretty fast and that'll help us get some money. Right now we're down to 10 for all the things that I purchased. So I'm just kind of looking around to see who I might be able to meet. And here's Evelyn. She's so sweet. And she says you can call her Granny if you like. Right next to her was the Stardrop Saloon. A lot of the citizens hang out here in the evening times. I wanted to meet Gus. He's the owner of the saloon, and during the open hours, he's always here. And so we can see it's 1:30 p.m. It's really not the time that we're going to see too many people, but I was here, so I thought I would run in. And we're going to run over here and see who else we can meet really quickly. This house is where Evelyn lives. It's also where her husband George lives. George is a grumpy guy. And at least right now, he doesn't really want to meet you, and he tells you to buzz off. So, good heavens, George, you don't have to be so grumpy. So, we're going to see who else we might be able to meet. There's a little rundown trailer here. And I think this is Penny. Yes, this is Penny. She lives here, and also her mom, Pam, lives here, but I don't know. Pam's at work, I think, or something. We'll figure out where everybody's at and meet as many as we can. We keep on going on our map to the right. And the first thing we're going to come to is this museum. This is going to be a very important place for us. And there's these books here, and I do have trouble clicking on them properly sometimes, but if you click right, you can read them. Also, you will find books in your journeys, and it will fill those shelves will have more and more books that you can read. And right above that from there is the blacksmith. This is Clint. Clint is going to be the one that will upgrade your tools for you. And some of your tools are very important to upgrade. So again, to meet him, you've got to walk around that other side. It took me forever to figure that out. So we're going to keep on going and see who else we can meet in town. I want to remind you that this is a retired slow play. There are ways to play more efficiently and effectively, but I'm not interested in doing that. Here we're going to meet Elliot real quick. He's down here. He's also called the Fabio of Stardew Valley because he kind of looks like Fabio. Some of these people you meet are going to be available to be spouses. And in the list of the heart list that shows the people's names, it says single underneath it if they're available to be a spouse. I'm going to wander on down here a little bit more. There looks like a fishing shack here, but gone fishing, be back tomorrow. So whoever is there, we can't see them today. Sometimes on the beach here, you will find things that you can pick up. There's an oyster there that I picked up, and it can be worth a good bit. Looks like this bridge is broken, but for 300 pieces of wood, we can fix it. We want to get to that as soon as possible. There's very valuable things on the other side over there that we can pick up that are worth money, which right now, money is very, very important to us as we're starting out as a new farmer. There's somebody I saw sitting on the bench. I think that's Mayru. We're going to say hi. Aren't you the one that just moved in? She's so friendly. She's, I've been looking forward to meeting you. And so some of these people are so super friendly to you. It's like a very welcoming little town. Pelican Town is welcoming. And there's that girl walking by. Oh yeah, who's this? It's like, don't go away. I'm trying to talk to you. This is Alex. And he's happy to me. He says, we're going to get along great. And I'll see you around, he says. I don't know, he has kind of creepy looking eyes. I don't know why I think that. We're going to go ahead and head north up here to see if we can see anybody else sitting or standing around. The townspeople have schedules. And, I mean, they specifically have times that they move from one place to the other. And if you don't want to keep guessing at it, you can go to the Stardew Wiki and search for their name. You can find out exactly where they are at any given time of the day. Demetrius, he's a scientist and father, and thanks for introducing yourself. And he studies the local plants and animals. Have you seen my daughter, Mayru? She's interested in meeting you. So, yeah, I have. Met her already. Oh, there's Penny. Or, I'm sorry, Robin. She's the carpenter, and this is her shop right here. And now that we can see, now that we've talked to her, it has an X there. That means I've talked to her today. So you can see that it's filling up how many people we've spoken to. Their names are starting to populate. And looks like we've got a few more to go before we get this quest completed. Up above the carpenter shop is where Lewis lives. I love Lewis. He lives by himself in a tent up above town here. And nobody hardly comes and sees him. But we're going to make friends with him. Yeah, you live out here alone. Poor guy. So we just try to meet as many people as we can. You see it's getting to be about 5:40 p.m. There's a way to get to my house from this top part, but I have a feeling we're going to have a little bit of trouble here because we didn't clear our path very good. So when we come down here, it's like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get through? That's what I was pausing for a minute to think about it. It's like, well, I've got my hoe is the only thing I have. Well, the hoe can clear the weeds and things, but nothing else. So I was hoping that I can clear a path at least to get back to my house, because I would like to get, if I have the energy left, I really want to plant these new seeds that I picked up. It's like, oh my goodness, I need to get to, now you see that I couldn't pick, it's an inventory full. That's because my inventory is completely full. I had picked up these items that I'm going to toss in the bin for sale. That leaves me a little bit more room. So if I had walked back over there, it would have picked up the items that I found. Eating foods increases your energy, so I decided to give myself a little bit more because I was pretty low. But I did want to go ahead and be able to plant these extra seeds that I picked up today. So that's why I ate the daffodil. You can give them as gifts or you can eat them yourself. So you can see I'm just kind of guesstimating how many more. I didn't even really count them. It was like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 5. One thing you got to be careful of is planting beans. Most plants you can walk through, but the beans you cannot because they grow on sticks. So when you plant beans, you have to be careful where you put them. So you can block yourself in where you can't even walk. So I kind of put it over here out of the way, and then I plant my miscellaneous ones, and then I plant the extra parsnips that I picked up. So again, my purpose for getting the extra ones is I wanted to make sure that I had planted at least one of everything of the seeds that you can get in the spring. And Pierre carries them all as far as I know, with the exception of one, and I think it's called the red cabbage. And I think there's ways to get that. I want to explain that I'm not a power gamer at all. And I don't play the most efficient way, but a lot of people make challenges for themselves. There's something called the community center that we're going to come across here in a little while. And so some people challenge themselves to be able to complete the community center. You can see I'm getting exhausted. Look at my energy is down to nothing. It says you're starting to feel exhausted. Even filling that water can exhausted me. If you get too far exhausted and it gets too late in the evening, you won't be able to get your energy back overnight. I've met 17 out of the 28 people that I need to meet so far. That's not bad for my first day. Plus, I've got quite a bit of stuff planted. Look at the money I earned from foraging the items that I found on the beach. That clam. And in fishing, the oyster's considered fishing, and the mussel, those are fishing items. So I earned 120 gold from just picking up some things laying around. So we desperately need that money. Once you sleep and it comes to the next day, it saves the progress in your game. And I think there's ways around that, but that's how I know how to do it. This is not a modded game at all. It's going to rain all day tomorrow. That's great. That helps me decide what I'm going to do tomorrow. So I come out my door and I got a note in the mailbox. And Pierre says he's got a backpack if you need an extra larger size. And Willy, Willy is the fishing guy. He said, hey, come down to my place before 5 p.m. tonight. I want something I want to give you. So we got a little note there. And so now we have 3 quests on our journal for us to do. So again, the first thing I do is make sure I get all my items watered. You can see that when I water them, the soil underneath turns a darker brown color. That's how you know they're watered. Later on, you can get sprinklers, and I try to make sprinklers as soon as humanly possible, just so that I could free up that time that it takes me to water my crops. So again, I'm working on self-sufficiency, and there's all kinds of things that we will see as I journey on. This playthrough is going to be a combination of obviously watching me play, but it's going to have tips that I use in my play style, which again is a retired slow play. I'm not into power gaming at all, so you're not going to see that here. And so what I'm doing here is trying to decide, okay, what is it that I need to take with me? What am I going to be doing? And I thought, okay. And also when I want to reorder things in my backpack, I put them in that chest really quick and then reorder the things. I like my tools in a specific order is what I'm trying to figure out here. And daffodils can be used as gifts. You can give gifts to the citizens, and it helps improve your relationship with them. So we're going to get to that. I think they're actually well, I think once you meet everybody in town, the next quest it's going to say is give somebody a gift, and we'll show how it improves those relationships. There's a way later on that we can find how much of the game we've completed. And there's, again, you can either do it or not do it. You can play as relaxed or aggressive as you want to play. So you can just build your little farm and grow your little things or whatever, or you can be very aggressive with it and try to complete a lot of the game or all of the game or whatever. So I keep a list of my current goals. I do that for a couple of reasons, largely because I take breaks because I play so many different games, and I want to, in case I was gone for a while, I want to kind of remember what was I going to be doing next. I use Microsoft OneNote to keep track. Oh, we got a geode. Look at that. The local blacksmith can break that open for you. Who knows what may be inside. So again, those are things that more things that you can do. You can see I've gotten sap now. I've got a piece of coal, and all of that came from just cleaning up my farm here. What I'm doing here is trying to make sure that the northern way out of my little farm here is cleared. So when I come back, I can come back from the northern route. There's also a southern route, and you'll see me clearing that later as well. You can see my energy is getting down just a little bit. That's okay. And we've got about 130 gold right now. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and clear some of this stuff here. You can see my energy's going down. That's okay. We're going to use as much of that as we can. But keep in mind that there are things that don't require energy, such as using the scythe. Using that does not take your energy, but using the axe and the hoe and the pickaxe, all of those require energy. So you can see that it went down as I'm clearing these rocks. What I'm doing, as I mentioned, is clearing a path to the southern route to exit my farm. So if I happen to come back that way, that I can get back up that way. Because I've done it before where I didn't clear it, and then as you saw when I came home the first night, I could barely get through. I just happened to have that hoe with me. So just kind of clearing everything off here so that I have a nice clear pathway to get out on all sides of my town. There's 3 different exits, north, south, and the east side. So I'm just kind of clearing them up, and you can see my energy here at 11:20. My energy's down pretty low. As you continue in the game, you will have more and more energy available to you. I also thought, let's just chop a little bit more wood while I'm here, and my energy's getting really low. Uh-oh, and it starts making the noise, starts shaking and says, you're feeling exhausted. So, okay, I'll clean that one more up. And I do have a daffodil that I can eat if I want to increase my energy, and let's go ahead and do that. I went from 8 energy to 33. So it went up 25. And when you hold your cursor over those items that in your backpack, it tells you how much energy it will increase, if any. And so I'm going to put away the resources that I've gained. That's the first piece of coal that I found. Again, it's a resource that you will need to craft things with. And we'll get lots more into that later on. I will be giving you, like I said, the tips and things. This is the way that I play the game. It's pretty relaxed. I use this game to when I don't want to have a challenge. I want to relax. I want to enjoy. This is just a super laid back game. I've got that geode, so I'd like to go find out what it is. And I also need to go see Willy down at the fishing shack before, I think it was 5 o'clock. And I'm not going to talk to people that I've already talked to so far. I just want to make sure I get that first batch of people talked to first. Then we'll go back, and you really should talk to people every day, as many people every day as you can. So we're going to run up here and see Clint and see if we can get that geode broken open. You have to have money for that. It costs 25 gold. But what do we get for this one? Ooh, we got something called a jagoite. It's a mineral, and it says to take it to Gunther at the museum, and Gunther can tell us more about it. This is the first time I've been in the museum when Gunther, I had something to give, and he's telling us, oh, it's so dismal. Not a piece in this whole collection has been wiped out. There's nothing in it. This is a scene that you can skip, and he says, oh, who are you? Oh, you found something. Let me see it, he says. So we show him what we got. You don't see him showing, we don't really see. He's got like a little spyglass. It's very old, he says. I'd love to study this, but it's yours. So yeah, I found it. It's mine. And he says, got a favor to ask. Would you consider donating any new artifacts or minerals that you find? And so that begins the museum quest entries, where every time you find something that can go in the museum, it'll give you a little note and says Gunther can tell you more about this. And so this is the end of the cutscene, and then we'll go back to where I entered the museum to begin with, and you'll see Gunther standing at the counter there. And so you click on him, and it says donate to the museum, and it shows the item I can donate, and I'm just going to put it right there. And there we go. We've donated our first item, a new journal entry. What does that say? Oh, we got 250 gold for donating that first item. You don't get gold or rewards for everything that you donate. At certain levels you do. So I'm just going over my entries. Visit the beach before 5 o'clock. It's 1:20. We're doing pretty good. You notice I did bring my hoe with me. Oh, by the way, I noticed there were some little kids sitting here. We do need to meet the children. So we had already met Penny. So sorry, she's not a little kid. She's reading to the kids. But there's little Vincent sitting here. So we're going to head meet little Vincent. And then on the other side, who do we have? Little Jazz. She's so cute. By the way, I want you to know I am not a professional sound engineer. And if you've ever watched any of my other series, every once in a while you're going to hear one of my cats holler. I've got two Balinese, which are long-haired Siamese, and they are very affectionate and very mouthy if they don't get petted when they want to be petted. So here's a cutscene with Willy, who's the fisherman, owns that fish shop right there. So we're going to have a little chat with him since he told us to come down. Ahoy there, miss. He's a nice fella. Oh, he's been gone a month out on the salty sea. Big haul, sold a lot of good fish. And he bought a new rod for himself, he says. And he's going to give us his old one. How thoughtful. How nice of him to give us gifts. And so now we have a bamboo fishing rod. A bamboo pole, it says. So that's awesome. Fishing is unfortunately a very important part of this game. In the beginning, I absolutely hate fishing. All he says is his shop's open and you can buy stuff there if you want. And he'll buy fish from you. So you could either bring the fish right here to him inside the shop, or you can put it in your shipping bin, either way. So that's the end of the cutscene with Willy. And so we're standing on the edge of the shore. I don't know how much energy we have. Oh, it looks like very, very little. But I wanted to show you how it works. You click your fishing rod, you click in the water, and it puts it whatever direction that you put it in, and it will bring up, it'll say hit. When it brings hit, that means you snagged a fish, and then you have to start clicking and it's really a pain in the neck. So you saw it says hit, you have to click immediately. It's giving you instructions here on how to do it. You got to keep the fish in the green bar, and you do that by clicking your mouse or whatever I don't know what you're playing on. And I was able to catch a herring. So a herring gives me energy. I can eat it if I want, or I can sell it. Fishing is a good way to make money in the beginning, but I just hate fishing. But you do need to increase your fishing skills, because to be able, if you're going to work on catching all fish in the game, you need to have your skills maxed out to be able to catch some of those fish. So now I caught a sardine. So you can see my energy is getting pretty low. I've got 17 energy left. So while I could eat those fish to get my energy back, oh, look at the little sparkly things in the water there. That's supposedly gives you better fish. And so it's good to look for those. Do you see that treasure chest up there? It's really a tricky thing on between keeping that fish in that green bar and also holding your mouse on the treasure chest. If you don't get to see what happened, I didn't get anything. So the sparklies went away. I didn't get the fish, and I didn't get the treasure chest. So that was kind of a bummer. And my energy's gone. So there's also a place right here that I really like to fish for ocean fish. Is right here by this rock. I can't tell you why. I just like to fish there. You can see I'm down to 1 energy. I have basically no energy left. So whatever I do the rest of the day is going to have to require very, very low energy, or no energy usage, because I'm out. And got a hit, so let's see what we can do. So, oh my goodness. Sometimes it's like, oh, I really want that treasure chest, but oh, I really want that fish. So it's like, okay, can I do both or not? It's like, I don't want to lose the fish. And so it's really hard. I really don't like this. Eventually you'll be able to get bobbers and bait, and be able to do a better job of keeping your fish, and you'll get a much bigger green bar that you have to use. It's like, okay, go ahead and get that. Now I got to keep that fish on there. Keep the fish on there. Can I do it? And I didn't. It's like, oh, I was right there. So again, fishing is one of those things I just absolutely dislike, but you got to do it. Part of the community center, part of the collections. There's lots of reasons. And I have 0 energy, but here's these little fish or worms. And I went ahead and clicked that, and it said it found a lost book. It automatically sends it to the library, and I can go back and look at that later. So to get some more energy, I can eat the fish even though it's raw. So I guess technically it's sushi. So that gets my energy. It went up 12. So I needed that, because at 0, you're walking about at a slow pace. Oh, and look, I got another thing to take to Gunther, and some, look at that, a dried starfish. And I got some clay, which you need. So I feel like I've got a pretty good amount of things done for the day. And I think I've only got, let's see, we've got, look at how many people that I've met or haven't met. And it's okay that we haven't talked to them today. It just doesn't increase their relationship for the day. Our first goal is to try to meet everyone. So it looks like I've got maybe 3 or 4 or 5 people, I don't know what my total is, that I can meet. So I think that'd be a good use for the rest of our day, to see how many of those we can meet. And you can go in some of their houses. There's a gal coming down the pathway, and I know I haven't met her yet. Her name's Haley, I think. Yeah, she's Haley. I saw her and I wanted to meet her really quick. And oh, I'm Haley. Hi, Haley. And I popped into the house. I don't see, there's some of the doors in the back you can't go into. They're private doors, but once you get to be better friends with them, you can go in there. I met that gal already, so it's like, who else can I run around and meet really quickly before the end of the day, which, it's only 5:50. Oh, here's this guy named Shane, I think. He's rude. What do you want? Go away. He's a grumpy guy. And I guess you find out later why he's grumpy. I don't know. There's lots of backstories to these characters, and you can find them out later. She says her name's Pam. So we met Pam. I think she's Penny's mom. And Emily. I don't know if we had met Emily or not. We've already met Gus. So let's see how we're doing here. And what I'm looking for is, because I know some of the people, I know because I played the game enough to know who those people are that have the question marks. It kind of gives me a look at the ones that say single. Those are potential spouses. So I got the guy with the yellow hair, and a gal with a purple shirt, and a green and red shirted person, and a guy with really long hair. So really those 4 people are the ones that I need to meet to finish that introductions. I've met those, like I said, 24 out of 28. So I got 4 more. And there's an extra one down, another one that you can meet, and he's a wizard, but he you can't get to him for a little while, but you will. But oh look, I was like, oh, I need to meet that gal in the purple shirt, Jody. So I got to meet Jody. So I got her off my list and got to meet her. And just as I was getting ready to leave town, I saw Marnie come out of the shop. It's like, oh, Marnie, hi. So that's 2 of the 4 that I needed to meet. So that's great. So I took a quick look and say, okay, I need the guy with the long hair and the guy with the yellow hair. That's the 2 people that I still need to meet. I thought, well, let's see if we can go get that one off of our list. Being super friendly, meeting everybody we possibly can. Robin headed back up to her house. Again, because you aren't good friends with these people yet, you can't get into their houses after a certain hour. So what I was trying to do is run over and try to catch this one person. There he is, the long-haired guy. And sometimes he hangs around this pond right here. Sebastian is his name. And yeah, he doesn't seem to be very, very happy living here. And I saw a leek. It's like, oh, cool. Again, those are things we can pick up. It's actually the foraging skill that that increases. And it's getting kind of late. I'm out of energy. It's 7:30. Can't really do much more. A lot of people go back to their homes unless they go down to that bar area, and so you can't really interact with anyone. You can't interact with the shops when it gets this late. So generally it just depends on how late it is. I'm not a stay up until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning type player. I know that people do that to optimize their time, but you know, it's just, I kind of role play in this, and I realize it's a farming simulator game as opposed to a regular role playing game, but I still role play myself. So the leeks are really good for a number of reasons. They give you energy, and I think there's a person in town that loves them too. So as you saw, I got a starfish there. We're going to go turn that into Gunther. I'm kind of deciding, you know, what else can I do? Also, when it gets really dark at night after 8 p.m. in the game screen goes pretty dark, and it's hard for you to see, and it's hard for me to see. I could lighten it, but, you know, it's like 8 o'clock at night, that's a good time to go to bed. When I go to sleep, I got leveled up on the foraging. I can now make those 2 items that it just showed you. Those are recipes, excuse me, that will show up in the crafting menu. So I've learned a couple. Each time you level up, you learn some things. Also, as you increase your relationships with people, you also get some recipes and things. Day 3 of springtime. So that ends day 2 on the Monroe farm. We currently have 435 gold available to us. Our total earnings is 450 gold. We have got a number of things that we're going to do here. I will give tips and tricks and the way I play and explain all that as we continue on. This is a good place for us to stop here. I hope you will continue on with this journey with Rhiannon and Monroe Farm. If you have not done so, please subscribe to my channel. And if you like my videos and what I'm doing, please give that video a like. And for the cost of less than an espresso coffee at Starbucks, you can also help me out by supporting me on Patreon. Links are below. I also have included the links that I have mentioned and will mention in these videos, the main website for Stardew Valley creation, the wiki, and the forums where I get a lot of information that helps me on my play. So thank you again for joining me. I hope you will continue, but most importantly, I hope that you will have a wonderful rest of your day.